Working on the 60. That's better. So here you can see the shift knobs and stuff for the NV4500. It's all in place. That's where it's going to be. I've measured the driveline angles, and this is about as close as I can get it. It's just kind of jacked up right now. It's sitting on that jack stand. You can see it's on the transfer case. So basically what I need to do, what I'm going to do today, is start to position this, which is the factory transmission cover, and you can see where that white line is right here. That's some seam sealer. So when I bought this was all riveted together, so I welded these two pieces and put some seam sealer, and it's worked pretty well. But now that everything's moved around, I think I'll actually be able to get rid of this and go back to the factory one. Or not, I don't know. So I can't, what I'd like to do, yes, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this, cut it, and then modify this so that it fits. So the first part is gonna be undoing this. Then I'll come back over here. I'm gonna have to move this back to accommodate the transfer case, because this is all moved back from where it was factory. And then I'm gonna have to see how this fits with the transmission shifter. So part of that is also gonna mean fixing this and fixing this hole, which is for the Ranger overdrive shifter, which I no longer have. So I'm gonna focus on this hole right now, and then cutting this so that it'll go back to looking like a stock plate, but it'll also give you the benefit of being able to reuse this rubber stuff, and it should seal a lot better, and it'll just be a lot cleaner. So I don't know what you would call this, but undoing the previous sins that have been committed against this vehicle. So the other thing is you can use these factory holes. So the plan is to do riv nuts on these and then just bolt this back up. So this is kind of exciting. I like doing stuff like this, so I'm pumped. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna make some fancy cardboard templates for this, and then I'll make the sheet metal versions and tack it in, and hopefully not catch the vehicle. I've separated the extra piece by carefully cutting the welds and grinding them away. So basically we have a factory transmission cover. The next step got my patch piece. So basically what I like to do is cut these first and then trace around them and then cut the metal out. You guys have seen this shit before on Rob Z's junk. But yeah, so I'll wire wheel the rest of that away, weld this piece in, and work on this guy. Just finished tacking in the pieces. Pretty happy with it. It's so much more sturdy. I mean, before this was all over the place whenever you touch it. So even with just the tack welds. So I got this piece in, and this one. And I made sure to realign this stuff so it's all straight. And once I get everything tacked in, I'll come back with the body working hammers and make sure it's it lines up. So I'm trying to get a nice seal on the cover, which I'll talk about right now. So the cover should fit over all this stuff. I'll talk a little bit about this shifter knob. I'm not sure if I filmed it, but the factory shift knob was like just wasn't in the right spot. It ended up being like right here under the steering wheel. It was ridiculous. So what I did is I stripped it down to just this. Stripped it down to just this piece, which has the threads that go onto the transmission shift mechanism. And then I got this spare piece of steel that was actually already bent in the right way. And then I welded some threaded rod. Actually, I welded some rod on there that I then threaded to fit the extra FJ60 shift knob. But actually, it's a pretty standard thread size, so I can put whatever shifter on there. I just put this one on there because I have it. So, what I was getting at earlier is that this is now back to factory setting, and this almost fits. Let's see. There we go. So basically, I need to take this hole, move it up, but I also need to move the transfer case back. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm basically just going to cut this out, shift it back, cut out that metal, put that metal in front of it, done. Same thing with this, except this might be a little more tricky, but basically good way to know exactly how much I'm going to have to do. Hopefully you can see that. But basically, this is a very legit way to measure stuff. So to the center of that little oval, which is where I want the center of my hole to be, hold that straight as possible. It's about 5.5 inches. So this, from the center of this to that edge, is about 5.5 inches. Oh, sorry, yeah. I measured to the edge. What I need to measure is to here. So it's actually about 6.5. So this needs to go about 1 inch forward, which is actually perfect because I won't have to really cut into that ridge. So it'll actually look pretty good. Now the transfer case, this lever is at its forwardmost position right now. So you need room because when you shift it into 4-wheel drive. So I'll measure the same distance on this. You got about 5 inches. So basically I need the front of this to be probably about 5.5 inches. Let's just to be sure, let's measure how much distance we actually need on this thing. So we'll start that at nothing. So really, it only needs about 2 inches of hole, which is pretty cool because that gives us a lot of room and I won't have to modify this that much. So basically, I'm just gonna move this slot to the edge of this and move this circle to the edge of this, and that'll be done. Easier said than done. Be a lot of welding, but I think it'll be good. Alright, so using this right angle tool, very useful. It's got this fat edge which allows you to grab all these like straight edges on this crooked part. Basically, these are my cuts. So I'm gonna cut here and here, and then this piece is gonna go here, and this is all gonna go there. And then on this one, same thing. So I'm gonna cut this out here and then there, and then cut this out, which I haven't marked because I'm retarded. Move this up. This piece is gonna go back here. Bam. All right, so I've got everything tacked in. This piece got a little small, so I'm just gonna make a new one, I think. And this is perfect. Everything's like nice and centered. plenty of space, and it all looks like the factory stuff, so I'm pretty happy with that. Awesome.